Hey guys, are you ready for today's live mix session? Now, if you're new here, you're wondering, what's going on with this thing? Why are we doing this? Whose idea was this anyway? Well, every single month we have a song contest here on the YouTube channel. And at the start of each month, submissions are opened up again. And then on the last week of the month, we all come together on a live stream, much like this one, and we listen to those songs that are submitted. Now, the awesome community of audio lovers and myself will then all provide feedback on the songs. We offer up friendly suggestions and even how to improve them. After a few days, I then choose a winner from the pool of all of the submissions, and that winner receives a free mix and master from yours truly with 3 revisions included. That is what we're doing today. We're actually mixing and mastering the winner's song. So, with that being said, if you want to get in on the fun, just simply follow the link that's in the description of the video or head on over to the 𝗏𝗏studio_simplified.com website. There's a link at the top of the page that simply says monthly song contest. You can enter there. It gives you all of the rules and the regulations and everything that need to be followed whenever you go to the form. You can even upload your song straight to that form so you don't have to like create a separate account or do something, open up a Google account, something crazy. And it just makes it a lot easier on everybody involved. And then that way, you too can be a part of the song contest that happens every single month. Now, if you are new here and maybe you're wondering, what am I all about? Well, this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional sounding music in a less than professional space. The motto around here is that we can dream alone. We can even create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. The goal of this channel, the goal of everything that this channel puts out, all of the content, all of the tutorials, the website, the podcast, all of it is in essence summed up in just that phrase right there. I am wanting my best to try to help you to create professional sounding music, regardless of the space that you're recording in. Now, the day and age in which we live, this is actually getting a whole lot easier. And it's getting easier every single day on this channel because of individuals like this. Boom! These are the awesome, the imitable, the one and only, the legendary VIP members, Patreon supporters, and YouTube membership supporters. Now, if you want to support this channel and everything that I'm doing here, that is literally a labor of love. It's free for you anyway. It takes a lot of time, effort, and just honestly bandwidth. So if you like what we're doing here and you want to help to support, your VIP membership is going to be the best thing that you can do if you want to get something out of it. Say, if you're a mixing or mastering engineer, you're a producer, you're someone who wants, like I just spoke of, to create better music, the VIP membership is going to be for you. Also, if you want to have access to the live, the raw multi-track reaction videos without commercials and an extra like 5 to 10 minutes of content, that's in there. There's a ton of stuff in the VIP membership, not to mention a awesome community of individuals and a brand new updated community feature that's really awesome too. In fact, I just did a whole live stream on what's in the VIP membership last time. If you want to go back through my playlist of live streams, you'll be able to kind of poke your nose in there and see what it all looks like. See if it'd be something you'd be willing to do. Now, if you're a Patreon supporter or a YouTube membership supporter, there's minimal that's going to come from that, except for you just simply supporting me. There are some perks that will drop, here and there and everywhere, but your main your best bet is going to be the VIP membership. So definitely check that out. Now, a word from the sponsor that also helps to keep the lights on, the ProMix Academy. Today's video is sponsored in part by the ProMix Academy. The ProMix Academy offers affordable courses from mentors, world-class engineers, Grammy winners, and multi-platinum selling producers. And with the resources available on the ProMix Academy, you can learn how to create radio-ready mixes from the comfort of your own home studio. Most of the courses also offer multi-tracks that you can then add to your portfolio and begin to build out your business. Follow the link in the description of this video to head on over to the ProMix Academy today and start learning the skills that are needed to take your hobby or your business to the next level. Okay, what is up, folks? I've got the glasses on, so you know it's getting serious. And I've done broke out my wife's Valentine's Day present for me. If it'll ever focus up here. I don't think it's going to. Focus, Daniel-san. Focus. Slowly coming into it. Here we go. That's right. She knows the man, the myth, the legend. I don't know about any of that. I mean, I do know that I'm a man, but I don't know about the myth part. What's mythical? I'm an open book. And legend, such a subjective term, you know? But anyway, let's go ahead and dive straight into today's content. Now, this is the project that we'll be working with today. This is Jonathan Hamlet's song that he won with the January song contest. The song is called Fracture. We have before us here 24 tracks in total that we're going to be mixing today. And you'll notice that I have a brand spanking new theme that's going on here. If you would like to get your hands on this theme, I did just post in the chat a moment ago how that you can get your hands on this theme for free. So if you like this theme that I'm using today and you want it for yourself, I'm going to pin that message to the top so it'll be easier to find here. All you got to do is click on that link and you can go download it for free. You will have to input your email address just simply so I know who to send it to. But then that will hook you up with a freebie and you'll get to use this theme that I'm using today, which is sort of synonymous with the new color schemes, which if you haven't seen them yet, this is sort of the new logo and the color scheme. So Jonathan says, why am I more nervous about this than I am performing live? Well, Jonathan, you're in a good place you don't have to worry about being nervous around here. So, I think that some people are more nervous about this because you can actually solo out vocals. You can hear raw elements that haven't been polished by the sheen of the studio hasn't been added. So I get that. And although it is scary, this is a great place to sort of break out of that because you're only going to find support here. So we've had individuals that were terrified of posting songs, and then they would post it and get so much good feedback. They haven't stopped posting since, or haven't stopped becoming song contest winners and participators. Participator, that's a new word there for you. I'm kind of in rare form today. I got more rest than I think I have gotten a long time. So I'm just warning you right now, it's probably going to get a little goofy here today. I am a class clown still to this day. And I like playing pranks on people. This is not a prank today, but I am going to let you know that we've got some cool stuff that's coming down the pipeline. No prank intended for that one. Is that a... Oh, that's where the... It looked like the screen was like glitched right there, but it's actually the next track that's below it. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I've lost my mind. With that being said, yes, as DJ has just stated, we only provide constructive criticism. There is a difference. You can go some places and you can get your head ripped off and served you on a platter, and they give you nothing in exchange for that other than, you go crying on your shoulder somewhere. Not here. You're not going to get that here. This is a awesome place where you can post and get real feedback and constructive feedback at that. All right. So if you want to be involved in the mix today, ask questions as we are mixing, you're more than welcome to do that. We do encourage that. I'll try my best to keep my eye on the chat. If you want to make sure that your question gets answered, like guaranteed that it gets answered, use the super chat feature. That super chat feature will not only create a pop-up on my screen that tells me, hey, somebody just asked you a question. You need to quit goofing off. But it will also do this, where as you can see, it just literally lit the room up like a galaxy. So if you send a super chat, I'm not only going to see it on the screen. If I don't see it on the screen, my entire room's going to get lit up and I'm going to go, oh, someone just dropped me a little tip so that I could get some information from them. They're asking a question or something. So that's always an option too. Okay, let's go ahead and start doing what we do, whatever it is that we do. Now I have literally, like, purposely not touched this mix at all other than color coding track. And the reason I did that is I want to make sure that I give you guys the best representation of what I would do from start to finish. So here is my current setup. This is my console view. So this is what it would look like if you were looking, you know, at a mixing board or something like that. And what I'm going to do is the preview window and metronome, our preview bus and metronome bus, those got to go bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and color the master bus a nice little color here to keep it sort of different from the other. And then I'm going to go ahead and insert a stereo bus. On the stereo bus, the first one, I'm going to call it drums because there's a lot of drum, or I'm going to call it drims. That's fine too. There we go. Now on this, the reason why I'm creating a drums bus is there are a lot of drums tracks, and then I can just send all of the drums to that one bus and affect all of them at once. So this is a great little hack to get things done quicker. It's got a lot of different names: bus mixing, backwards mixing, mixing. What's another one of those? Reverse mixing, top down mixing. I've heard it all, but essentially you're just saving yourself time by creating a bus. Talk about simplified. Okay, let's insert another stereo bus. This one I'm going to call drums PC. So this is going to be my parallel compression channel for the drums, because I typically will always do that just because I want to. Okay. No, because there's actually some really good reasons for that, which we'll cover here in just a little bit. So I'm going to insert 3 more buses. Now we'll explain all this as we're going here. We're going to call rev short. We're going to call it rev med or medium. And we're going to call it rev, and this doesn't stand for reverend. It stands for reverb. Although depending on how you have the reverb dialed in, it can certainly sound heavenly. Okay. We're just going to color code those a little bit different to sort of get that out of the way. And as you can see, there's nothing done on the Pro channels. There's no plugin instances initiated. We are going to just give her a go. So first thing we're going to do is, as you can see, I've selected all the tracks here within the console view. And by holding my control button, I can move all of the faders at once. And I'm going to move them all down to -0 or -infinity. In other words, nothing's coming through that. And I'm going to get these drum elements to set well first. And I'm only going to be worried about levels, volume levels. We're not talking like any kind of like compression, reverb, nothing like that. No effects being added whatsoever. We're just simply doing levels. This is what's called a rough mix. Now, if you're interested in learning what this process would look like for you, I have a 15-step mixing process that if you sign up for my email list, you'll get access to that. I think it's like the 3rd or 4th email it'll send you. You'll get a freebie there that will help you with that. Real quickly here, let me check my... Okay, we have 14 viewers online. Thank you guys so much, but we only have 7 likes. Go ahead and drop a like on this video so that YouTube knows that whatever we're doing over here is actually making a difference in the lives of people. Why? Because you guys rock. Okay. It's too early for spiked coffee. By spiked, if you mean extra caffeine, yes. Yes. I do not drink nor smoke nor anything of that nature, though. I'm clean, man. I'm clean. So let's go ahead and bring in these drum elements and we'll start mixing those. Let me find out where they actually start, and then I'll move the playhead up there. Okay, let's start with this is obviously room. Looks like we got 4. I might be mistaken, but I think that's 5 room mics. Wow. Okay. So, question from our esteemed moderator. He says, Rocket Fuel Bundle first session, you talked about creating a template for what you would use. Why not add all buses and effects and route everything ahead of time and just add your plugins afterwards? Yes, we do talk about that quite a bit. However, I'm talking about today, we're covering it all from scratch for people that maybe don't have a template or that don't need to see me load up an already created template, because that might confuse people and make them think, oh, whenever you open a project, it automatically has all this stuff. It doesn't. Like, I literally had to color code all these things and move them to areas where I wanted them when I flew the tracks in. And then all of the buses and stuff that I'm adding, yes, you can create templates for that. So we talk about that in the Rocket Fuel Bundle sessions, if you've not heard of that. Not sure what the others were. Okay, well, we'll figure it out, Jonathan. They definitely sound like room mics, so I'm not sure. Stefan, not sure. He says, how much do you need to start a home studio? So literally, in the day and age which we live, for less than $300, you can start a home studio. That's actually with that in mind, that obviously if you're on here right now, you already have a computer, hopefully. So a laptop, desktop style computer, whether it be Mac or Windows. Obviously Windows is cheaper. So if you're going to save money, you're going to go that route. Then you need an audio interface and a microphone, and really that's it. And audio interfaces are super cheap. If it's just you can get by with a 2-channel audio interface. You can record yourself singing and playing guitar at the same time with a 2-channel audio interface, go back and overdub tracks later. And you're looking at, if you get a Focusrite, you're looking at one of those for like $150. And then your microphone, you can get a nice one for another $150. There's your $300 limit. The program that we're using today, Cakewalk by BandLab, this is a full-fledged, robust. Stephen, thank you so much. He clarified that. This is a full-fledged, robust DAW or digital audio workstation for free. So you want to check out Cakewalk by BandLab. I also have a course for that where I will teach you everything that you need to know about how to use this program. It's called the Ultimate Cakewalk by BandLab tutorial course on my website. So have I ever used Reaper as a DAW? And if so, how was it compared to Cakewalk? I haven't, but I know a lot of people that do use it and they love it. Now, what you're going to find out on my channel is, even though I am a staunch Cakewalk user, love Cakewalk, I also, rack toms, that makes sense. Anyway, shiny objects. Even though I'm a staunch Cakewalk user, use it all the time, love it, will suggest it to anyone, that I run across. At the same time, if for whatever reason, you're a Reaper user or a Pro Tools user or whatever, that's perfectly fine around here. In fact, I've said it time and time again, I'll keep saying it, that a DAW is simply a tool and they all will achieve the same thing. There's 500 different styles of hammers out there, but essentially they all drive a nail into wood. So it's just whichever one fits better in your hand. Now, if you're going to use this one, I've got a ton of tutorials on the channel, over 57 now, that will help you to get that are free. And then I also have a course with multi-tracks where you can mix along with me and learn how to use it as well. Great questions, man. You guys are awesome today with the questions. So Stephen still thinking about Stephen, sorry. Jonathan has just confirmed that R1, R2, R3, and R4 are actually rack toms that were mic'd up. So the room is more than likely just one track. It looks like a stereo track, maybe. No, it is a mono track. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, we'll work with it. We will work with it. Okay, let's give this a listen. Okay, let's bring in the kick. There's some hi-hat. That's the bottom of the snare. Here's the top. Okay, and our overheads. Now remember, we're just worried about volume levels at this point in time. Okay, not too bad. Definitely here's some issues that I feel like EQ and some parallel compression will take care of, but we're getting there. Very dynamic there. I'm gonna real quickly just solo these out. See, in this instance, I think I prefer the bottom sound over the top, which is uncommon because normally I prefer the top over the bottom. I think it's because it's got more of the kick click in there as well, which is going to sound, it's going to be some pleasing bleed here in a minute. So now that I've got the volume of those two snares, the top and the bottom, sounding the way that I want them, I can actually hold control, right click on that and group them together so that if I move one, I move them both. That way I can maintain the balance of the top and bottom volumes, but I can also control the volume of them both together. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move this room track. If I can push the right button here ever. I'm gonna move this room track down next to the overheads so that I can kind of keep all that where it needs to be. Remember, these are just volume levels. Not too bad right there, actually. Now let's move on to these guitars. So question from 𝗧𝗵𝗲, love that name, by the way. He says, when miking drums, is it important to have 2 mics on the kick, 2 mics on the snare, and 2 mics on the hats? Can you get away with 1 on each? Absolutely. I guess I should clarify that. 1 on each is fine. In fact, you can actually record with just 2 overhead mics if you place them in the right place. If you are sort of, you know, you have a minimalist setup or not a lot of microphones to work with, you can actually get by with just 2 overhead mics and still get a decent drum sound. Now, if you do have more microphones, obviously putting 1 on the kick, 1 on the snare, 1 on the next to the rack toms, and then, you know, like 2 overheads, that would be ideal. But if you only have 2 microphones, you can still, by positioning them in the right places, get some great drum sounds just from 2 microphones. Great question again. So we're going to go ahead and go back to these guitars here. I want to see how similar these are. Okay, so I already know that those are probably going to end up panned. I'm going to bring them down in the mix a little bit here. Ah, there's a DI source. We'll go ahead and mute that. That way we can use that one later, maybe if we want to add in a different guitar sound. And this says this is a DI source as well. Let's see what that sounds like if those are both muted. Okay, we might go back and fix those guitar sounds here in a little bit. As a guitarist, it's just something I'm probably gonna tweak. All right, here's keys left and right. Okay. Then we have some sound effects, it looks like, to start out the song with. And those are at the very beginning here. Very cool. I'm noticing this guitar here is significantly lower in volume, which is fine. We can fix that. And then, of course, with the addition of distortion, it comes up. Okay, so we got that. So because this mix is very dynamic, it's hard to find a balance with just the faders only at this point, but that's fine. We will find a way to fix that too.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity of knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fracture, fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we got some vocoder going on there. I'm going to move the lead vocal here up to the top. So I'll know that's the main vocal I need to mess with. And I noticed it's in stereo. I'm going to go ahead and put this down to mono. I don't think there's a need for it to be in stereo. It looks like the exact same. Question. If time allows during one of these mix sessions for the monthly winner, we watch you mix the song, what's the chances of watching you master it also? Guitarist had just transitioned to an HS stomp long before this recording. Gotcha. You know, normally if I'm mixing the song and it's only a one-off song, I'm mixing with mastering in mind. So by the time I get the mix balanced and I put my processing on the master bus, it's pretty much mastered. So it seems kind of like a cheesy way to do it. But if it's only a single, it's just one song, you don't have to open up a separate session for mastering. You can just do it within the session you're in. It's actually a lot easier because then you can adjust levels as you're mastering. But 9 times out of 10, when you guys are watching me mix these songs, by the time it's said and done, it's mixed and mastered. I know it's not mastered, but it's mastered. Awesome. So if I got, Steven says, so if I got $300 home studio, can I get a sound as good as if I were to spend $1,000 or more for a studio? Yes and no. It depends on what you're going for. So if you are, I mean, in my personal opinion, $300, you can sound just as good as anyone on the market. It just depends on how well you know your gear, your talent level. Just to be perfectly honest, you know, whether you can play guitar very well or whether you're still struggling with some things. If you're a vocalist, you know, what kind of vocal presence and power do you have? Because you can give a great vocalist a $100 mic and they're going to sound good in it. You can give a not so good vocalist a $1,000 mic and they're going to sound horrible in it. So it's really subjective. But yeah, $300, you can sound just as good as anything else on the market. I believe that wholeheartedly. Awesome. Well, Stephen, you are in the right place to learn how to do that. So awesome. Let's go back here. So with this particular song, as I've already sort of expressed here at the very offset of this, it's very hard to dial in just a rough mix because everything is very dynamic. And that's not a bad thing. It just means that we're going to have to do some things with compression and EQ to get everything to sort of gel together. So as you can see, this is kind of where we're starting out. And I know that's probably kind of a low volume, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that up for you guys.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity of knowing right from wrong. I slipped into dark.
The recording on the vocal sounds amazing, though. That's awesome. So that means the main star of the show, which is the vocalist, Stephen, that's awesome, man. I love the fact that you're a worship leader. That's awesome. Because we have the vocals so clearly recorded and it's the star of the show. Sorry, I'm reading comments at the same time. Okay, cool. But yeah, we have a lot to work with here. We can actually, the song is going to sound better because the main star of the show, the vocalist, and the way the vocals are coming through sound phenomenal. So we've got a lot to work with there. Now, if you have a horrible sounding vocal, sound like it was recorded in the bathroom with a, Radio Shack mic, if there's any Radio Shacks even still around anymore, you got to massage things a lot more. You got to figure out what do I need to sacrifice in order to gain clarity and punch in this mix. In this case, there's probably not a lot we're going to have to sacrifice. We're just going to have to do a lot more massaging. So now that we've got sort of a rough balance on the faders, let's go ahead and we're going to select all of these drums, go down here to the master and send them to drums. Okay. And that's going to make sure that now they're all going to this bus, which will allow me then to control all the drums at once. So if I solo out just the bus now, the bus is the only thing I'm listening to, but I'm actually listening to all the drums and can turn them all down at once. This is crucial because it allows me to affect everything at once. So, well, thank you so much, Mark George. Mark is definitely a star pupil. So, what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do, these are live recorded drums. If you guys have not seen me use this yet, on live drums especially, I'm using this on every single mix. And I'm not just saying that. This isn't one of those plugs for a company that I love, although I do love this company. The plugin I'm talking about is called 𝗵𝗲. And what this is going to allow me to do is each one of the instances that I place on these tracks, if they're set to the same group, which in this case I'm going to call drum set for the first portion here. it's going to automatically align those and do the phase inversion for me. I'm going to go ahead and include the room in there on this one as well. But then I'm going to create a new group for the overheads. And that makes a difference. Drum set overheads. Drum set overheads. Okay. It's telling me I need to update that plugin. That's making me nervous. I don't want to update it on a live stream. So we're going to listen to just the overheads. And then we're going to allow this plugin to analyze it. And it also takes into an account the spectral phase compensation, which is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to crank these up so you guys can actually hear this. Actually, let me just do it here. Now listen to the difference that this is going to make. Did you just hear the low end just get a little bit beefier? It moved it by one sample. I'm going to go ahead and reanalyze that at a louder portion here. Okay, so it moved it by 2 samples total. Turn that back down so I don't blow any eardrums here. So now I know that the overheads are in alignment. They're in phase. I'm going to go ahead and move now to the drum set as a whole. And this is going to be where the big payoff comes in. I'm going to solo out all these elements. Take a listen to this before and after. I think I hit play. I did not. Where are they at? Here they are. Okay, so here's before. Now it's going to analyze all of these and line them up. Before, after. Those actually weren't that far off. So whoever mic'd those up actually did a really good job. But what we did notice is, see how a lot of these needed to be inverted. Some of them were all the way up to 372 samples off, which just means that the time alignment of them was not in kilter here. So now let's bring in the overheads. Let's listen to them all again. Now that we've aligned them, got them in phase. Okay, not too shabby. Let's go ahead and adjust some things here on these. Good budget microphone. That would be depending on what you're going to be using it for. Are you going to be using it for vocals and guitar? Are you going to be using it for, I'm assuming because you're a worship leader, it will be for probably vocals and like worship guitar. My room just got lit up like a disco ball, which means somebody has donated through a super chat. Thank you, Eugene Smith Music, for your awesome donation. I greatly appreciate that. So Stephen, I would, if you're going to be recording vocals and acoustic, I would go with an MXL V67G. It's a very affordable microphone that it does great on both. If you're going to be recording electric guitar only, then the Shure SM57, and for vocals SM58. You can probably get both of those for around 200, maybe even 150. If you look on eBay, find them used, you can get both of those. That'll give you 2 different options as well. And the SM57 can actually sound pretty good on an acoustic guitar as well. But if I had one choice, one microphone, it would be the MXL V67G as my budget microphone. Or if if you want to pay just a tad bit more, and I mean just a tad, the 𝗬𝗏 Audio 440 Pure is going to sound really good on a lot of stuff. All right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the EQ channel here. And because this is the hi-hats, I'm going to use a high pass filter all the way up to about 250, close to it. Don't need anything below that. Then we're going to go to our kick channel. I'm going to take a high pass all the way up to 50, believe it or not. Give myself a slight bump at 65, which is usually the fundamental of the punch of that kick. I'm going to cut around 400 hertz, which is where the flam of the kick, the extra stuff you don't really need, is. And then I'm going to shave off everything all the way up to about 1800 from the top end with a low pass filter. Now, these are not hard and fast settings. These are just things that I know predominantly is going to work time and time again. So I kind of just like go straight off of them. And then I'm going to copy those all over to the rack toms and adjust those accordingly. I might even just leave them right where they're at. We shall see. I think I am going to take that 65 bump down on the rack toms though, and actually make it like around 120. Just a slight bump. And now here in Cakewalk, the beautiful thing about that is I can hold control, click and drag this over, and it's going to drag all of those settings over there. Okay. And now where are we at? Snare, top and bottom. Okay. This one's going to be treated just a little bit differently. So with our snare, we are going to shave off everything up to 70. One second. I just had a request from a moderator. Need to make sure I take care of that. My watch has spoken. We will return to our regularly scheduled broadcast in just a moment. Really? There we go. Okay, let's see here. And there it is in the chat, DJ, if you were looking for that. So Paina says, did not know you could copy pro channels like that. Yes, you have learned something new. This moment of clarity provided by Robert McClellan. Jonathan says, I need to step away for family stuff. I can't wait to rewatch this. Awesome. Go for it, man. Family is more important than anything. Okay. Coming back in, picking up where we left off. I don't know if that link is actually going to work, DJ. Sorry. I think it needs this in front of it. There we go. Let me remove that last one. There we go. So the link that I've just given DJ is a Sweetwater affiliate link. So if you're looking for some gear and you need to purchase something, if you use that link at no extra cost to you, and I mean literally no extra cost, I will get a small commission for leading you to their products. So if you're already going to be buying gear anyway, it's a great way to support the channel because you're already going to be buying it. So for the snare, I'm going to bring that up to around 71 high pass. Increase the snack or crack, as they like to call it, around 1.1. and around 6,000 kilohertz. I'm going to give it a little top end boost there, and I'll do the same for the top, and I'll adjust that as needed here in a minute. Now for the room, much like we just did here a minute ago, high pass filter. This time I'm going to go up a little bit higher, around 75. That way it won't get in the worries. I'm reading the chat at the same time. It won't get in the way of the bass. And around 400, I'm going to dip out as well to allow the kick to breathe. And then around 6,000 kilohertz again, slight boost. I'm not going to make that a shelf this time though. Overheads. These are going to be EQ'd a little bit differently as well. Let's give this a listen, see kind of where we're at in our ballpark here. Already sounding much better. Okay, this is what it sounded like before. And with the effects added. Which as of right now is just alignment and a simple EQ curve. So now that I got the individual elements, I'm going to go ahead and EQ the entire drum kit with the bus. Okay, so typically speaking, whenever you have some cymbals like that that are kind of just getting out of control here, what we can do is we're going to insert some tape saturation, and I'm going to use the stock. Actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to use something from Waves here, some good old tape saturation from Waves. And now it's just trying to find the name of it. Tape saturation, where's it at? This is the problem when you have too many plugins. I thought it was just called tape, but I guess it's not. Okay, let's see here. Where am I at? Of course, there's always the SSL. That would provide a lot of that I'm looking for too, but I'm really wanting some tape. Here it is. It's called Real. Hello. Duh. And we're going to make that a stereo instance of that. Maybe. I was getting ready to crash or something. Okay, so here is my Real ADT. This is my various speed tape. This will also add some, a little bit of bounce to it. In fact, I think there's even a drum preset here. Yes, 𝗵𝗲, it does. You know, I don't think this is not, no. This is not the plugin I'm thinking it is. I think that's actually more of like a delay. Let's go back to that huge list. You know what? I already seen the SSL here, so I'm going to try that. That should provide me with the grit I'm looking for. Very heavy on the cymbals there. That's starting to tame them a little bit better now. Okay, we got a little gate on there too for expansion to help sort of tame in betweens. Okay, that's already sounding a lot better. And DJ says he thinks it's called the J37, and I think you're right. That's it. Thank you so much, DJ. I don't know why they wouldn't just call it a tape plugin, but anywho, let me take off the SSL channel so you can sort of hear the difference that this is going to make. So this is without it. Put it in. Very subtle. Adding just a bit too much distortion for me. Put in the SSL channel. Awesome. Now we're going to go over here to our drums parallel compression. Exactly, DJ. That's why they did it. And on this one, I'm going to use the brand new Magma Tubes channel strip. We'll be using the stereo version of that. It actually has this cool little feature here. If you just watch my most recent review video of this called Smash, that's exactly what we're going for. And we will create a send from here to our drums PC, which means it's going to actually get signal from it. copy and paste that over there. Now by itself, this doesn't sound good at all. Just stick with me here. So now we're going to blend that slowly in with the original drum sound to get a beefier drum sound. Doesn't take much. This is with it blended in. Take it out. Bring it in. Awesome. So now the drums are kind of at a state where they'll still need some massaging, but they're a lot better off than before we started. Now let's bring in this bass. We're going to start messing with this bass. Not what I wanted to do, but I am going to add, we're going to go back to our waves again and add our magma BB tubes, the baby brother. And this is just a mono track, so we can add the mono version of that. And while I'm thinking about it, because it's acting a little wonky, Control S is your best friend. And I'm going to call this live mix session. And we'll just save this project just in case. Never hurts. So we're going to add some saturation on this bass to really get it to pop a little. Hey, what is up, a spacious place? How's it going? Okay, now, yet again, this is the beginnings of the mix, so don't crucify me yet and you're like that. Something's just not right. Yes, there's a lot of stuff not right as of right now, but we're going to fix that. Just hang in there with me. You'll see. All right, so we got some bass sounding a little bit better up here in this mix. And as we had talked about earlier, these guitar sounds, I just don't feel like they're fitting too well. And I can see kind of where they're going with it. Like they want that gritty sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the Electrum plugin. And And we're going to, I may not even have to use EQ on the channel. But Electrum, if you have not used it, is absolutely amazing. Is it Melda? What? Who is it? Who makes it here? Muramasa? Yes. Muramasa. Now this is basically like a pedal board right here on your screen. And we have a cabinet section, amp section, distortion. We can dial this bad boy in. So let's do it. It's already sounding a lot better. Now that there is kind of closer to what they were trying to go for in the first place, that sound, but it doesn't sound quite as ear piercing. So I think this will actually work a little bit better. Jonathan, if you're still in the chat, or if the guitarist is here in the chat, let me know if that sounds better to you. Honestly, I really like that blue setting there. That sounds nice. Oh, that's why he said that, about making my guitar tone sound better. Okay, gotcha. Well, I'm working on it, man. Get ready. Oh man, I was waiting for it to come back in again. Okay, that's pretty close to how I think it should sound. It's a little bit high-end fizzly yet, so I think I'm going to dial off the high cut a little bit here. 1 second. That's sounding a whole lot better right there, and then I'm going to dial it back. Okay, we're going to go on over to the other DI guitar now and create an alternate sound for it so that we have more space and depth. Awesome. Let's put those two together just to see how they're jiving. I could be wrong here, but I think they're going to jive well. Okay, versus this is what we started out with. Okay, now what we have now. All right. That's just my opinion, but I think it sounds a little bit punchier, a little beefier. Let me know, Spacious Place, what you think. The drums are, yeah, a little bit busy, but yet again, we're not done with this. So, yes, DJ, the half off the VIP membership trial is still in effect. So if you'd like to join the VIP membership, get access to exclusive content, get access to all kinds of freebies that can help you mix and master your own projects, or if you want to, through that VIP access, get access to the VIP members group where you can post things, hire people through there. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff on there. You can get in for half off using the link. Actually, you know what? You can just go right now to the website, go to the store tab. VIP membership will be on that store tab. Let me make sure that I'm not, let me just take you there. I'll take you there. Yeah. So here's the website. You'll go to the store tab up here. And if you click on either the yearly membership or the monthly membership, you hit join, it'll take you to this page. If you apply coupon code VIP trial, all in caps, hit apply, it'll tell you that that's an invalid coupon. So that's what you want to do. You want to go and put in an invalid coupon. I'm not sure why that happened. Okay. Need to fix that. Let me just give you the link straight to the half off because that's stupid. That should have worked. Yeah, it's still an active coupon. Oh, I think it's because I have it set up for, yeah. Okay, that's why. It's a 30-day trial. That's why. So here you go. Use this link. That I've just posted. Now let me make sure that one works. Yes, that one does work. That'll get you a free month of VIP access. I know I was going to give you the half off, but you know what? If you want to sign up today, you can get your first month for free. Just do it. You're going to love it. And I'm going to replace this as the pinned message at the top. And the only thing I'm replacing is the message where if you want the theme that I'm using, you can also use the link that I posted for that to get this theme for free. All right. Let's go back to where we were. Loud noise in 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Those two guitars. Bring them down a little bit here. And let's go on working with these keys. Oh, okay. Awesome. Solo the bass and the kick drum, do they work together? Right now, I'm not so much concerned about that as until I get everything else balanced. And then I'll worry about whether the kick and the bass are working well together. Because right now the drums are still not in a place where I really like them. I'm just kind of dealing with them right now because I am going to go back and fix them here a little bit. Cool. So we got some nice little pianos here. And it says piano left and right, which lets me know those are going to be panned. That's cool. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We went from getting 50% off to a free month of VIP membership. Yes. You want a free month of VIP membership? Hop on board. It's fun in there. Okay, so we've got pretty much what I feel like a good balance using the EQ. And you'll notice I didn't do EQ on the guitars. Probably need to go back and do that. Hello. And so we shall right now. Awesome. Okay. DJ, you're such a jokester. Now we're going to start utilizing some panning before we do any other balancing, because whenever we pan things from the center, it might actually alleviate some of the folded stuff that's on top. But first, let's go ahead and check this mix in mono real quick. I definitely want that bass guitar to be more consistent. So I'm going to slap on an instance of the CA2A, set it to limit. Yes, and whoever stated that before, yes, the bass is definitely combating the kick quite a bit. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. We're going to put instance of a compressor after our magma tubes. And let's just use the stock Cakewalk Sonotest compressor. It's a great one to use, and I'll create a send to the side chain of that from the kick, so it will only initiate whenever the kick is happening. Okay, so there's bigger issues that are at work here with these drums, and that is mainly the fact that these drums are just, man, they're just all over the place. I think I'm gonna turn these overheads down. That should help a little bit. Okay, let's split these overheads up left and right. And I'm not going to go full blown left and right. I'm going to go 60-60. Okay. I'm going to pan these guitars left and right. And we're going to go like 65, 65, somewhere around there. Okay, I got an idea. Let's see. Got an idea for this kick, because I think this kick needs some help. I'll go ahead and save this project again real quick here so I don't lose all this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to XLN Audio and use Addictive Trigger. And I am going to trigger a sound on this kick so that I get something with a little bit more attack on it. So switch this up to kick. No. What's this dry punch? What's this sound like? That might actually work. Let's see if that works. Okay, so check out this. Check out this kick now. I'm digging this. Let's solo this kick. Versus much better. Yeah, so DJ, that would be an option to duplicate the kick, use it as a sample. But that's also going to create possible phase issues and stuff like that. This is just a lot quicker using the addictive trigger from Addictive Drums. If you guys have not checked out Addictive Drums, they are amazing. I use them on every personal project that I've ever made, pretty much. And you know what? I might actually use that on the snare too. Why not? Get me a nice beefy snare top, because I didn't much care for the top. I cared for the bottom more. And I even said, like, normally I want a top sound better. Ooh, fat and punchy right off the gate. Sounds beautiful. Let's hear that snare now. Ooh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Versus. Yeah. Better. Look, man, them drums just came alive thanks to those plugins. Oh, addictive trigger. Yes. I love it when a good plan comes together. Okay. I'm getting a little excited here. That's okay. These original guitar tracks, no disrespect to the guitar players. The performance was great. Just the sound I didn't much care for. So I am going to go ahead and delete these now that we have a sound that I can tweak infinitely. Thank you for including the DI sources. For those of you who said, hey, we need to record the DI sources as well. Genius. Make sure these are panned equally here. 44 and 44 sounds good. Okay, now we're starting to get somewhere, folks. Let's pull this back up. It's the spiked coffee. Actually, my coffee is almost gone, and what's left is cold. So you guys are going to witness this here first, okay? Let me bring this up here. I'm about ready to drink the last swill of cold coffee. It's just like a cold brew, only nastier. Woo. And back to the mix section. Okay, if you guys haven't liked the video yet, please like it. If you haven't subscribed yet, now would be a good time to do so. And click on the bell icon so that every time I go live or I post a new video, you'll be the first to know. Thank you, coffee. Forget me all jacked up. Okay, back into the mix. Here we go. I think we're getting somewhere here with these drums. I'm going to go ahead and bring this drums parallel compression down because I want to slowly start blending that back in again because now that that snare and that kick are the way they are, they're very beefy. So I'm going to dial that back in. That's better. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring those guitars in just a little bit more. They're panned out, I think, still too far. Those keys are sounding good, but there's some more we can add to that. So speaking of more we can add to this mix, now because of the style of this mix, the genre that we're working with, you know, reverb is not necessarily one of those things that's just predominantly used a lot in rock music, unless it's on the drums and you want that big pop, you know, sound. But nonetheless, it still does help to create depth in a mix. So we're going to actually head on over to the website now. And while we're over here, we're going to go to the reverb and delay calculator. We're going to type in, I believe our project is, if I'm not mistaken, 142 BPMs. And we're going to go ahead and type that in here. Hit enter. That's going to tell us that at 142 BPMs, a quarter note value will be 422.54 milliseconds. Okay, and you know what that means? That's right, 422.54. All right. So we're going to set up our reverb buses off of that. And we're going to go with, I don't think I've ever used this. What is this? Is this a reverb? No, it's that stinking NX head tracker junk. Yeah, I said it. There's what I was looking for, the chambers. Okay, so reverb, 100%, dry, wet, 100% wet, delay. This doesn't offer Yeah, this doesn't offer what I'm looking for. I'm going to use the old tried and true Eventide stereo room plugin. There we go. So 422 for our mid, or close to it. We want that 100% wet. We're going to set that to the middle of front and rear just because I feel like it. Bring the gain down before 250 and after 6,000. Okay. We're going to copy all those settings over to the short, and we're going to make it half of whatever that is. That's 212 or somewhere close to that. And then we're going to make it double for our long. So close to that. There we go. Mob says he never got a notification. How rude. Why would they do that? Stinking YouTube. Okay, and then we are going to EQ these accordingly. I just covered that in a video not too long ago. Make sure that you are EQing your sends and especially your reverb sends. And we're going to EQ these all pretty much the same. High pass filter, low pass filter. Up to about 150, down to about 3,000, dip out around 317, wide RQ. These are just my go-to settings, so I'm just kind of winging it here. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is put it on the drums. And we're going to start with the short, dial that in. Actually, that sounds pretty good right out of the gate, but I'm still going to dial it back because every time your ear goes, ooh, that sounds good, you need to dial it back a little. Okay, that allowed me to dial back the kick, and actually I'm going to dial back that snare just a little bit more too. And that snare is stinking cracking now. I'm loving it. Okay, I'm going to move these rack toms around a little bit. 50% on that one, around 25 on that one, 25 on this one, 50 on that one. That's nice. Okay. Welcome to the show, Midnight Blue Movies, Mob the Gamer. So good to have you guys again, our staples of the streams. We appreciate your presence. Keep in mind that this is not, we've only started really scratching the surface on this, but that's completely fine. So we've come a long way though, I'll tell you that much. Okay, so apparently this bass is like really, it's giving people some migraines here. I'm going to use basement on it. This is sort of like Electrum, but it's for a bass guitar. And this will allow me to dial in something I feel like I should probably set better in the mix. Let's try this out. Wow. Let me take everything off there. I gotta see what this is actually doing to the bass. Okay, that might actually have us a little bit closer in there. Let's give that a listen there. Awesome. Okay. That's a little bit better. It's definitely not completely done yet, but it's better than where it was. I started using the Pro Channel saturation knob for the bass. Yes, that's a good one too. It's come a long way. In fact, this is where we started. not too bad, you know, I mean, and much better. Okay. Let's see if we can get, let's go ahead and start working on this lead vocal. Why not?
It's the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity, knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fractured, fractured, every piece of this broken soul. Fractured, fractured, never again will I be swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity, knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with.
Okay, so I want this vocal to have a little bit of grit, so that's why I'm using this R comp right off the bat, and I'm going to actually bring that into, let's see here. I could use the virtual mix rack, but I'm not gonna. I want something that, you know, actually, where's it at? Just Tressa. Why can I not find anything? Probably because I got too much on my screen. I need to clean this up. Seriously. Compressor. There we go. Woo! This is going to provide a fair amount of grit here. And I'm just going to find a stock plugin. Or a stock preset, rather. Let's go with Optocomp to begin with. I'm going to set it to 4:1 instead of 10:1.
Hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity, I'm knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fractured, fractured, every piece of this broken soul. Fractured, fractured, never again will I be whole. Fractured, fractured, fractured.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see here. Got some suggestions here. The 𝗵𝗵𝗄. Let's see what this is all about. There's a ton of these that I've not even used before, so a lot of times these individuals in the chat are like, hey, check this out, because you haven't used it. And I'm not seeing the 𝗵𝗵𝗄. Oh, there it is. The Jack Joseph Puig. Okay, let's check this out, see what it does.
Hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity, I'm knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fracture, fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture, fracture, fracture.
So far we've got 3 different compressors on here doing 3 different things. And
It's pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone.
we're going to go ahead and put a send on here. If I can find it, man, I'm stumbling and fumbling for buttons here. Going to put a short reverb on there. Let's see how that sounds.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity, knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fracture, fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture, fracture, fracture. Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe? And who's to say you're right? And who's to say I'm wrong?
There we go.
And if we don't act quick, we won't be here long. Fracture, fracture.
Okay. Gonna go ahead and save the project because I'm getting ready to throw on something that's going to be very, very intense on the CPU. And of course, it's the good old Soothe. And I'm going to go straight for vocals presets. And we'll just go with vocal start. I can adjust it as we go.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity, knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fracture, fracture.
Awesome. Okay. That actually doesn't sound too bad at all. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this track. And I am going to, actually, let's do this first. No, actually, I'm not going to use either Soothe or the Waves de-esser at this point in time, because I might have another little trick up my sleeve. I'm going to go ahead and slap on Melodyne and just do like a 50% right off the bat, just to kind of, it's not really that far off, so I don't think it'll really affect it too bad to make it sound, it's not, obviously it's Melodyne, so it's not going to make it sound robotic. And in case you're wondering what Melodyne is, it's just a vocal tuner. And yes, everyone's vocals need tuning. It's just, it's part of life. Okay, so I'm going to remove 𝗧𝗵𝗲 from this one. And save myself a lot of CPU. Actually, I'm going to remove a bunch of these plugins. Because I really won't need them. And so for the second vocal, I will insert the nope, that's not it. Little altar boy. My opinion in removing or turning down the breaths. That's a good question. So depending on what kind of style the song is, if it's a very intimate singer-songwriter type thing, I might turn the breaths down a little bit, or, you know, attenuate them just a little bit by using like Vocal Writer or something like that. But on some songs, like with rock especially, you almost want to leave it in there, or even some rap, because you almost want that element of realism where they're like getting into it and you hear them go to breathe in for the next one. It almost adds a sense of realism to it. So it's really kind of like play it by ear kind of thing. If it's too much, it's too much. And I think you'll kind of know it. But then there's sometimes where it just works. So I want to set little altar boy to rich fifths. This saves me from having to create 6 different tracks and pitch shift them all different directions. I can just use one effect. And this is what it sounds like by itself.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness.
So much like the parallel compression channel that we had on the drums, this is going to be a parallel effects channel for the lead vocals. So by themselves, they're going to sound like this.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right from wrong.
So that's just going to kind of help to let it sit on top of the mix and also add just this element of grit around the vocals. Now I've already got some from the compressor, from the Puig EQ, from the Magma BB tubes. I've already got quite a bit of grit on the edges of these vocals, which I wanted because of the way this song is being sung and the rock that it's rocking. So hopefully it's going to add to the realism of the vocal, the emotion of the vocal is what I was looking for that time. Sorry. I'm just going to, as the mix is playing out, I'm just going to slowly start blending in this effect.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity.
As soon as I start to hear it,
right from wrong, I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought.
so I started to hear it at about -10 dBs. That means I'm going to bring it back by 3 dBs, so about -3, -13.
It was the hardest pill to swallow,
I'm going to go ahead and remove the reverb.
that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right
Actually,
from
I'm going to bring it back
wrong.
even more.
I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fracture, fracture, every piece of this broken soul.
Okay, so now that I see the song as a whole and how it's kind of playing out, it's making me want to actually change the way this second guitar sounds. When it kicks in, it's too bright. I think it needs to be a little bit of a darker sound, sort of more of a high watt sound. Okay, so it's actually this one. Okay, so we're going to change that to something a little darker. Let's see if that works better. That's better. Okay, cool. 𝗵𝗲 has just come up with a really good idea. He says you can use the wave's imager or doubler to put a parallel in stereo field. So let's go ahead and try that. That's a good idea. That's why I love doing these things, because I learn just as much from you guys by doing these than, then hopefully you learn from me as well. Let's go with doubler 2. We don't want to overdo it. And we'll just go to basic doubled take.
Never again will I be whole.
That's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Let's see if pensado doubler. Ooh.
Fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, never again will I be whole.
Oh yeah, hello. I used the doubler mono. Good catch there. Obviously, if you want it in stereo, Robert, you're going to have to put the stereo one on there. There we go. I'm pretty sure there's probably still a pensado doubler there. That's the one I liked.
Every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture.
Very cool. Okay. See how that sounds?
Every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, never again will I be whole.
Okay, so the artist here has included this vocoder. Okay, so I'm assuming that if they included it, then they want it. So I'm going to try to massage it into where it's just setting up underneath the vocal here. And this could be a little bit tricky, but let's do it anyway, because we like tricky around here. Okay, I just realized I didn't even EQ that vocal. That's how well recorded that was. Like, it didn't jump out at me like, hey, you need to EQ that. So let's go back and EQ that first. Yeah, that's not working. Let me bring down the, I think I know what I got to do here. Okay, so yeah, I'm not seeing these vocoder tracks working like they should. First and foremost, let's try something a little different here, because so they're wanting a vocoder track. Let's delete this one. Let's delete this. Let's bring this one down, because remember I tuned the vocals, so that's going to sound completely different. And let's put in the waves harmony. If I can find it. Hey, no problem. See you later, man. And I'm going to save the project again, because that's what I do. Okay. Now, real quickly. Okay. Checking the chat real quick here. Good deal. 25 likes, 12 viewers. That's even better. We like it when we have more likes than we have viewers. So, Is the vocoder causing issues throughout or only certain spots? Honestly, it seems like it's kind of throughout. So we're going to try this, the waves harmony, to create your vocoder sound, but it should actually be more accurate.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right from wrong.
In an agony, to the surface it brought fracture. Every piece of this broken soul.
Fracture, never again will I be whole.
There we go.
Fracture.
That was kind of cool.
Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe? And who's to say you're... And if we don't act quick, won't be here long.
That sounds pretty cool right there.
Fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, never again will I be whole.
There's some cool stuff going on here.
Fracture.
Gotcha.
Broken pieces scattered all around. It's me, it's on me, lying on the ground. Will I be whole? Fracture.
I mean, that sounded pretty cool. But I really like this. Where was that?
Broken pieces. Fracture. Never again will I be whole.
This one here that's called Swells. I really like that. And actually, it's crazy because you just wrote that that's supposed to go with like a swelling theme. Let's just see if it works. It may not, but let's try it. Throw it against the wall, see what sticks.
Was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, never again will I be whole.
That actually sounds pretty cool right there.
Fracture. Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe? And who's to say you're right? And who's knows they say I'm wrong, and if we don't act quick, I won't be here long. Fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture, fracture, fracture.
Might add a little bit of delay and grit there. That could be cool.
Every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture, fracture, fracture.
I see what you're saying, Mob, so I can actually turn the source down.
Fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture, fracture, fracture.
That sounded pretty nice right there. Whenever he's saying fractured right at the end, it almost sounds like it's breaking up extra.
Broken pieces, scattered all around. It's me, it's on me, lying on the ground.
Awesome. Okay, we've come a long way. Let's go ahead and select all of these channels. Let's open up all of the channels, and we're going to throw on some console emulation while it's playing out. I want you to hear the difference.
Fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture.
Nice. Yeah, I think you're right, Mob. It is just a little bit too much.
Fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture, fracture, fracture. Broken pieces, scattered all around. It's me, it's on me, lying on the ground.
Not too shabby for someone that never mixes rock. I mean, I typically don't mix rock, so this is kind of a outside of my wheelhouse, and I'm liking it.
Fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture, fracture, fracture.
Okay, so as of right now, I'm going with the console emulator that is sort of a subtle type. I'm going to go with the aggressive type. See what kind of a difference that makes. Better. And I haven't even touched my, I haven't even had to touch, honestly, my reverb, medium or long. The short reverb is just, honestly, it's just been enough. But I am going to be using, I want to send these guitars to a little bit of reverb. I think it might help them to nestle back into the mix just a little bit better. Let's try to send them to the short.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fractured, fractured, every piece of this broken soul. Fractured.
Honestly, they've already got reverb on them anyway. They have had this whole time. Thanks to our Electrum and our Dark Hall reverb setting. Now that depends on what kind of a no-no you're talking about, Mom, because the 80s was predominantly reverb driven.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought.
Ooh, that sounds kind of cool. That long reverb on there.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fractured, fractured, every piece of this broken soul. Fractured, fractured, never again will I be whole. Fractured, fractured, fractured.
Those pianos need some help there. Let's create a send there for the short reverb. Okay. Let's see if we can. Where'd that? Yeah, there's a tape delay. Tube delay, sorry.
Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe? And who's this?
I think that's, I wanted something a little bit longer. Much better. Okay.
Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe? And who's to say you're right? And who's to say I'm wrong? And if we don't act quick, I won't be in here long. Fractured, fractured, every piece of this broken soul. Fractured, fractured, never again will I be whole.
Yes, DJ, it is. Yeah, the old vocal writer didn't catch that one. I don't think it has a look ahead though. That kind of helps. I'm going to go ahead and render those region effects because I don't hear any like wonkiness going on with the vocals. That'll free up a little bit of CPU and just sort of bake the effect in there. This one's just for you, 𝗵𝗲. Just for you. Make sure I'm not cutting off any phrases there. So we're going to cut those silence portions out, bounce them to a clip so that then that way, if I have to move them, I can move them all fluidly without anything moving on me. All right, bring that back out there. these. Get those there. Do a little bit of a fade in. Actually, you know what? If this is the actual beginning of the track, let's just go down here and split all that. Go up here, delete all that, close the gap.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity, knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fractured, fractured, every piece of this broken soul. Fractured, fractured, never again will I be whole. Fractured, fractured, fractured. Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even?
Okay, that delay's out of time. I can hear it. It's no bueno.
Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe? And who's to say you're right? And who's to say I'm wrong? And if we don't act quick, I won't be here long. Fractured, fractured, every truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe? And who's to say you're right? And who's to say I'm wrong? And if we don't act quick, I won't be here long. Fractured, fractured. Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink.
Okay, now for some de-essing on the lead vocal, we're going to go with the Cakewalk T de-esser Pro. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a brand new plugin that we're using here today. You saw it here first, and it's going to be hopefully a good choice. This is supposed to be a very transparent de-esser. Let's check it out and see it in action, see what it contributes. So let's go ahead and solo this real quick.
Fracture, fracture, fracture.
This does have look ahead too. That's awesome.
Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe? And who's to say you're right?
Sounds really good, actually.
And who's to say I'm wrong? And if we don't act quick, I won't be here long. Fracture, fracture, every piece of this broken soul.
Okay, so let's see right here.
Fracture, fracture, fracture. Scattered all around, it's me, it's all me.
Okay, so this is before?
Scattered all around,
Yeah.
it's me, it's all me.
Scattered. You hear it scattered?
Scattered all,
Scattered. Turn it back on.
scattered all around.
That's pretty stinking transparent. I like that. I'm going to back it off just a little bit here.
Scattered all around.
Very nice. And with that look ahead feature, you'll be able to catch those a lot easier without having to juggle as much to get it all done. So, wow. Great plugin by Cakewalk. Definitely we'll be shouting that one from the rooftops. If you guys want to check out more about that, we are going to be having a giveaway for that plugin soon.
It's the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity, knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought. And all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fracture, fracture, every beat of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture,
Oh, that's cool. So you can really dial it in by using these audition buttons to get it just like you want. And then the saturation, that filter helps to sort of round it off.
fracture,
Wow.
fracture,
Okay, now here's without
fracture,
and with.
fracture.
Man alive, that's good. Really natural sounding. I like that.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity, knowing right from wrong. I slipped into darkness, alone with my every thought, and all the pain and agony to the surface it brought. Fracture, fracture,
Nice.
every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole. Fracture, fracture, fracture. Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe? And who's to say you're right? And who's to say I'm wrong? And if we don't act quick, I won't be here long. Fracture, fracture, every piece of this broken soul. Fracture, fracture, never again will I be whole.
The drummer, 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗛𝗦𝗦 to the rescue. This is before. Awesome. So now we're going to go here, select all. And all but the lead vocal anyway. And just create a subtle exit there with a fade. See how that sounds. Nice. Okay. Folks, we have come a long way. Yet again, this is where we started. Just for, not to be mean, but just to showcase what the mixing has done for it.
Fracture, fracture, fracture. Broken pieces.
Okay, and After Effects have been added. Nice. Okay. It's definitely come a long way, baby. Something that the artist had included here at the very beginning were these sort of ambient tracks here. Now, other than the creaking sound, I think I actually have some better sound effects that we can add in to sort of help sell this a little bit better. Just got to find them, and they're going to be buried, of course, because I had this brilliant idea, which it really is a good idea. It's just not always fun, but I had this idea. I was like, I'll put all of my samples on an external drive so it won't take up space on my hard drive, and then my program will run faster. And while that does work, sometimes you have to keep hunting down where stuff's at. So let's see here. Rivers and streams, rain. Oh, you know what? I removed the preview bus. That'll learn me. Down there actually sounds pretty good. Bring that in. Okay, let's remove this one. Oh, I'm trying to use keyboard shortcuts that you use on the video editing program. Put a little fade in there, a little fade out here. Excuse me, puppy. Woo. Okay, and then this creaking sound, as cool as it is, it needs to be much louder. We're just going to do a gain boost on it by 6 dBs. And you know what? Why not just go ahead and redo that again? Because it's still kind of eh. Okay, and then as far as the waves, we could probably just use... No, that's not going to work. Sizzling veggies on a grill, that's what we need. Here we go, ocean. Let's go with that one. It might be a bit much. We can always tame it down. There I go again, using keyboard shortcuts for video editing. We're going to dial that back here a little bit. Check it. Nice. Let's see. In context with the mix.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right from wrong.
Okay, I gotta make those fade out a little bit faster because they're cutting on top of the vocal there. But other than that, that sounded a lot better.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone. It obscured all my clarity. I'm knowing right from wrong.
Okay. And now let's move these down here too. I have an idea for that. I think those need to be shaved down just a little bit more, probably with that.
It was the hardest pill to swallow, knowing that you're gone.
Okay.
Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim?
Let's try that.
Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe?
Okay, that needs to come in just a little bit later. Needs to be faded in just a little bit more. Let's try that.
Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe?
There it was. One more time.
Truly lost at sea, the ship begins to sink. How am I to swim when I can't even breathe?
Nice. Very nice. I'm going to let them fade out just a little quicker.
When I can't even breathe.
Beautiful. All right. Now, Payna, that's completely up to you. If you want to throw that in at the end as well. I just thought it was kind of a cool way to tie it in at the beginning and the end. And we can even change up the sound effects if you'd like, but honestly, I think it's nice. Good deal. So is it finished? Honestly, probably not, but it's been about 2 hours now of mixing, solid mixing, almost 3, good night, of solid mixing. And at this point, it's a good time to usually sort of take the headphones off, step away, you know, grab something to eat, use the bathroom, stuff like that. Give yourself a break and then come back to it after a few hours have passed and see, okay, am I making a difference? Because after a while you get stuck in the weeds and then you start adjusting everything for naught. You end up making things worse. So we are at a point now where we're going to go ahead and do just that. And then I'll step back later and I'll come back in here and see what if I can improve it or what. And then shortly after this, I will be after I get that completed, I'll send you out an email to let you know that the first revision is done. And then you can go from there and see if you wanted to go ahead and save that as your final, or if you want to take advantage of your next 2 revisions. So, or 3 revisions, sorry. Final mix and 3 revisions. So it's actually like a total of 4. All right. Well, thank you all so much for hopping on today. It's been a thrill to have you all on here, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's give a big shout out to these individuals who have helped to the pledge to the channel, as well as we got a brand new Patreon pledge yesterday, I believe. So thank you, Jason Vaughn, and all of these others who have subscribed. Thank you for the super chat, Eugene Smith Music. That was awesome of you to do so. And before we go, let's go ahead and spin the wheel of awesomeness. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. Robert was going to try to sneak out of here without spinning the wheel, but old 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗀𝗀 roped him by the hair and said, "Hey, buddy, get in here and spin it." Okay, guys, I'm really not sure. 𝗧𝗵𝗲's, I think he fell off the wagon or something. So we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel. Wherever the wheel lands, you know the name of the game. Wherever the wheel lands, we're going to take part in that. Little known fact. All right, this is a fun time where we talk about a little known fact, and it's usually something about me. So I have to pull out of the recesses of my mind and go, what's something I haven't told these people? Because like I said, I'm an open book. But one thing that a lot of you who have been around here for a long time may know, but for those of you who are kind of newer, you may not know, is that I can actually do a very mean, and I'm talking, well, at least I could. I don't know if I still can. It's been a while, but I can do a pretty mean impersonation of Hank Hill. Not such a good one of 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗀𝗃 as you just seen, but Hank Hill. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'll tell you what there, Bobby. Yeah, buddy, I'll tell you. Yeah. What you need up here is a large fry, a pie, and a coffee. You got me in there, good buddy? Here's an extra little tidbit of factoid. Did you know that Mr. Anderson on Beavis and Butthead was the original King of the Hill? I need an explosion effect on here. All I've got is crickets. And that's usually what comes out of my brain when it explodes anyway, so. Anywho, it's been so good having each and every one of you on here today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully you got something out of today's stream. Hopefully you learned something you can take away from and add to your mix. Now, I know that the way that I'm mixing, the way that I'm putting all this together, you know, it's not up to everyone's snuff. Like, say, for instance, we had several different individuals here in the chat. I know 𝗵𝗲 𝗛𝗦𝗦 DJ Big Red 81. It's great that they're giving these suggestions. I'm going to do things based off of how I normally would do them anyway. I do take suggestions into account, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, everyone mixes a little bit differently. So if I was to hand this mix off to 𝗵𝗲 𝗛𝗦𝗦 or DJ Big Red 81, you're going to get this mix back completely different. It's still going to be a good mix, I'm sure, because both of them are very talented, but it's going to be completely different. That's the beauty of mixing. It's like an artistic fingerprint. It's like taking a paintbrush, and you could give that paintbrush to Leonardo da Vinci. You could give that paintbrush to, you know, Michelangelo. They're going to paint two totally different things. Was Michelangelo even a painter? I think he was just a sculptor, wasn't he? Give it to Picasso. Okay. You're going to find two totally different things, but each one of them are going to be valuable in their own right. So with that being said, music, just like mixing, is very subjective. So whatever it is that you're good at when it comes to mixing, if it's mixing drums, if it's mixing guitars, if it's mixing whatever, start focusing on that and then try to build your skill sets around it. Don't try to, like, you know, just completely change or alter the way that everything that you do because, you know, you watched a video and, you know, Chris Lord Algae said to do this, because 9 times out of 10, that's not going to work on every single mix. So with that being said, thank you all so much for hopping on the stream today. I hope you learned something. Hope you had some fun. And if you want to get access to the template that I used today, I keep saying template, this here, the theme, you can get access to that by using the link that I provided in the chat earlier. If you want to get a free month of VIP membership access, where you have access to a lot of cool stuff that will help you in your mixing journey, you can literally get on there for a month and download everything that you need and then quit if you want. I please don't do that. Please don't. I mean, if you can't afford it, that's one thing. Take the free month, take the free stuff. I give away so much free stuff, it's not even funny anyway. Speaking of which, we are going to be having a giveaway for the Cakewalk plugin soon. Stay tuned for that. I could go on rambling like all day long. I always try to close these things out and they just get more and more awkward because I don't really want to stop them. But then my bladder's like, Robert, you better go now. So until next time, guys, I love each and every one of you. And I mean that. And I'm praying for each and every one of you. I think we are in some tumultuous times right now, but I do feel like that, you know, God's got it all in control. He knows what he's doing. So with that being said, until next time, remember that we can dream alone. We can even create alone, but together, I wish I could hear you guys, but together we can achieve so much more. God bless you guys.